Today I thought would be a good time for me to provide an update on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies because it tanked all the way down to 14,000 here. Now we're seeing a super strong bounce back, but if you go over, roughly the last 48 hours or so, you can see that we reached a peak of 17,000 roughly 200, and now we've crashed all the way down to 14,000, and we're currently at 14,750, and the market's not sure which way it wants to go. So a lot of you are asking me, is $23,000 in the card for Bitcoin still? What are your thoughts on Bitcoin versus altcoins? And just in general, how are you positioning yourself in this market? Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen next. I wish that I did. But the thesis that I use to estimate a $23,000 Bitcoin is still very much intact. If we look here at Bitcoin dominance, we're still in the lower 30%. The fact that we're still in the 30% at all means that the thesis is still intact, because I think for sure this number is going to go up to at least 45%, and I'm really targeting 50% before I really start to get a little bit less bullish on Bitcoin. What a lot of you missed in my last video, because a lot of you were surprised that in the course of a week I changed from bearish on Bitcoin to bullish. What most of you missed is the massive change in market cap for cryptocurrencies in the period of a week. So I want to illustrate that real quickly here in some charts here, because some of the more perceptive among you, I guess I should say, still had questions. So let's go ahead and go back here. If we go back to the beginning of December, you can see that we reached a peak of $450 billion. This was back when Bitcoin went up to $20,000. Now we know that since then, Bitcoin has fluctuated in a very wide range between $10,000 and roughly $18,000. However, we know that it's never gone past the $20,000 that it reached back here. Yet since then, the cryptocurrency market cap has gone from $450 billion all the way up to a peak of $830 billion. And we know it's not because of Bitcoin. So CoinMarketCap does us the favor and calculates it without Bitcoin. And you can already see here just how insane it is. But let's go ahead and pull this back to 3 months here. And if we go back to the beginning of December, you will see that the altcoin market was worth $150 billion or so back at the beginning of December. Now it reached a peak of $550 billion. Now we're all the way down at, let's see here. Now we're all the way down at $450 billion. We're already starting to see a little bit of a correction in that. But we're also seeing a correction in Bitcoin, so this Bitcoin dominance figure really hasn't changed. My entire thesis is based on the principle that some of this capital from the altcoin market, actually a lot of it, moves back into Bitcoin. And I've said why numerous times, so we're not going to go back into that. I don't want my videos to be too repetitive. But the thesis is still intact, meaning I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. I still think it's a better position in your portfolio. I still think it's the best investment in the cryptocurrency market right now, just because it's well positioned in the current cycle. Even CoinDesk put a wonderful article out talking about how to really prepare for the next altcoin storm. And I think it actually had I think it used the word shitstorm initially, and then they changed it. But there's a lot of swearing in this article. I don't know if maybe they edited that out. Let's go ahead and have a look here. I'm just curious. Yeah, they actually do have some swearing in here. I was a little surprised. I mean, I know that CoinDesk is obviously not as formal as traditional news outlets, but it is just interesting to note regardless. But anyway, this article really details the cycles that we see in cryptocurrencies between Bitcoin and altcoins. And right now, and I believe this is probably the best description of the current market, right now, the cryptocurrency market has degenerated into little more than a penny stock casino. I couldn't agree with that more. I actually made a tweet recently talking about the fact that a lot of people suggest that you buy smaller altcoins because they can go up 10x or 100x, whereas Bitcoin and all of the other larger cryptocurrencies, at most you're maybe going to see 5 times. Most of the time, the max you'll see is 2 times. As a result of that, smaller altcoins are always going to be the superior investment because they can have ridiculous returns. And that's completely false. Well, it's false in the sense that it ignores risk. Right now, while we're in a bull market, when we're in a bull trend, all assets will indiscriminately rise, meaning that smaller altcoins are going to pump. We've seen situations like this with Tron. I still think Tron is a load of crap. I think that everybody is investing in Tron because they believe in Justin Sun, and I think that maybe there is some value there, not this much value, and I also think that he is as silver-tongued as it gets. I believe that guy is so silver-tongued that I would never touch anything that he has anything to do with, plain and simple, okay? Now, that might sound illogical, but it usually tends to work out. And really, if you look at their white paper, I love how people can twist the fact that they have a product that is supposed to... First of all, they don't have a product at all right now. I love how people can twist the white paper, which says that they basically have a long-term roadmap for 10 years plus, into saying that they have a long-term vision, as if other cryptocurrencies don't. Really what it means is they have nothing now and they won't for a long time. All this price is over speculation over Alibaba, which is obviously huge, don't get me wrong, okay? Obviously huge. But right now, you know, it's funny. When you have an obtuse white paper, and maybe it's the translation, I don't know, but when you have very obtuse definitions of what Tron actually is, or what a cryptocurrency actually is, usually it's best to stay away from that particular cryptocurrency. You know, I spent like 10 hours going and looking through all of the information on Tron because I was going to make a video talking about it. I don't know if I'm really going to do that anymore, but I spent 10 hours looking through all of this different information just to see what everybody was so excited about. I asked you guys on Twitter, why should it be a top 10 cryptocurrency? And it's just a load of BS, plain and simple. So right now, the market is going to pump cryptocurrencies like this. And for those of you that are holding Tron, that's perfectly fine if you're doing it to make money. If you're doing it because you believe in what they are and what the product is, you're going to be sorely disappointed in a year. Seriously. That is going to be the case with a lot of these different cryptocurrencies. And I have no issue calling them out because the reality of the situation here is that a lot of these are very useless or have limited products that don't have a lot of value or don't provide a lot of value. What you need to do in this type of market, at least when it gets as exuberant as it is right now, I think we're getting towards the end of the altcoin cycle. I think that we're going to start seeing money flow back into Bitcoin. I've been saying this for a while now. I've been saying it back since I believe like December 20th or something, that money is going to flow back into Bitcoin. It's going to happen at some point here. It always does. And when it does happen again, trust me, the narrative is going to change about how the brand matters, how the support matters, how the developer support matters. It's more than just community support. And also institutional investor support, right? There's a lot of capital that's flowing into Bitcoin as opposed to other cryptocurrencies, which then encourages more people to develop for it. And we know that Bitcoin is battle tested. We know that it has scars. We know that it survived all sorts of different attacks. We don't know this with almost all of these other cryptocurrencies. Most of these other cryptocurrencies have had very limited attacks. Why? Because they're not $250 billion. Plain and simple. I want people to realize this now because there's a lot of gambling going on in this market right now, and a lot of people are confusing that gambling with investing. Now, don't get me wrong. The cryptocurrency market as a whole at the moment acts more like a gamble than it acts like an investment. But there are some things that just simply cross the line. You know, Bitcoin may not do everything that everybody expects it to. It's certainly not digital gold in my opinion. And I don't think that I don't believe in hyper Bitcoinization. I don't believe that all of a sudden everybody that has fiat currencies are going to flee into Bitcoin. But I do think that Bitcoin, a lot of people want to use it. A lot of people have heard about it. A lot of people are gaining trust for Bitcoin just because they know everybody else trusts it. Don't underestimate that effect, by the way. Don't underestimate the fact that because their friend brought it up to them, and then their other friend brought it up to them, and more people keep bringing up Bitcoin, they've actually heard of Bitcoin. In fact, if you ask most people what cryptocurrencies are, or if they've ever heard of what a cryptocurrency is, they're going to tell you they've never even heard the word. But if you ask them what Bitcoin is, or if they've heard what Bitcoin is, they're going to be able to say, yes, I have heard about it. Don't underestimate that. You know, so many people are lost with the tech. And there's so many examples throughout history, and I'm probably going to make a separate video about this at some point, There are so many examples throughout history where the superior tech has lost out. Plain and simple. Like Beta versus VHS is a perfect example of that. Sony really screwed that one up. But there are so many examples throughout history where we've seen better tech lose out. So if you're really a tech-minded person and you really understand all of the different technologies that go behind these cryptocurrencies, and you really love the ideas that they sell, sometimes you have to take a step back and realize that the investment reality is not always the same as the technological reality. And that's going to be something that faces a lot of people here soon when we see the altcoin cycle end and we see money flow back into Bitcoin. So in short here, yes, I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. We might see a correction in the market. Obviously, I can't predict such things, but what I can tell you is that if we do see a correction in the market, Bitcoin is better positioned. And if we see the market go up, Bitcoin is better positioned because the altcoin cycle is going to move into Bitcoin at some point here. I've been saying that for a while now. You want to be selective about the altcoins that you pick. Plain and simple. You want to have higher quality altcoins. You want to have altcoins that actually serve a purpose, that is useful, that demands the blockchain technology, or DAGs if that's what you're into. It has to be something that has a real use case, because when we see the cycle move into Bitcoin, even though those selective cryptocurrencies, those altcoins, likely won't do as well as Bitcoin does, they will do better than all of these other nonsense coins like Tron. And I know some people are going to leave some rude comments below because they don't like the fact that I'm bashing Tron so much, but I'm sorry, it's just so easy to do it, okay? Pick the altcoins that have some value here. I'm going to be making a separate video talking about that at some point here soon. Everybody did their top picks for 2018. I'm going to do something like that where I talk about cryptocurrencies that I will buy and hold no matter what. You guys know that really my channel seems to be more crypto trader than crypto investor. Well, I'm going to talk to you about cryptocurrencies that I am a crypto investor. I'm an actual crypto investor. I will not sell it no matter what happens. Even if we go through a massive bear cycle in cryptocurrencies and see Bitcoin draw down 80+%, I will still hold these cryptocurrencies no matter what. Maybe not for a lifetime, but maybe at least 10 years or 5 to 10 years. So we're going to talk about that in a future video here. But today I just wanted to do a short update because the market's been kind of going crazy. Some people are panicking, some people are happy about the opportunity. I call it an opportunity for Bitcoin. One last thing, I guess, before we close off this video here. Ethereum has been doing some very interesting price action. We saw it go all the way up to $1,200. It actually reached my price target. Remember that I was talking about it going somewhere between the 7.5 to 8 million Satoshi range. Well, I did take some profits in Ethereum. And when I say take profits, I mean I moved it into Bitcoin. I still have a substantial Ethereum position. It's one of the altcoins that I believe in. But I do think that when we get to that 7.5 to 8 million Satoshi level, there's a lot of resistance there. And as a result of that, I do just want to move just a little bit of Ethereum. Well, actually, I moved a decent amount back into Bitcoin. So that's just a quick update. What's the next price target? I have none. At this point, I'm just going to buy and hold when it comes to Ethereum. The rest of my Ethereum position, I'm not going to move into Bitcoin. I'm just going to hold it pretty much no matter what happens. So I just want to do that quick update because in literally less than a week, we reached my price target of 7.5 to 8 million Satoshi. Who knows what happens next year, but I will be holding the Ethereum that I have left. As usual, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you check out my Steemit. I tend to be a lot more active there. I respond to comments much more frequently, so if you want to have a better chance of me responding to your comment, you have a really low chance on YouTube just because there's hundreds of comments. Here I actually keep up with things, so make sure that you check out my Steemit if you're interested. You can also see my responses to other people's comments here, all in one location. So make sure that you check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, leave a like, comment, and subscription, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.